Hello YouTube, this is the review on my Aipas M2 Pro. I've had this bike for 2 weeks now and I've put 311 miles on it so far. The only time I ride it is back and forth to work, which is about a little less than 15 miles each way. I charge it at home and then I charge it again when I'm at work my shift, and by the time my shift is over, it's ready to ride again. A couple things. So far, I'm happy with the performance. Like I said, it's only been 2 weeks. I've already put 300 miles on it. And a couple things. I always heard a bunch of people saying things about the brakes. The first 100 miles or so, the brakes were fine, other than the fact that I had to adjust the front brakes because the front tire was dragging as soon as I installed it. Easy fix, very easy fix. So today what I did, let me turn the camera around. Today what I did after 300 miles is, if we can get this to do right. There we go. So you see we have 311.4 miles. That's assuming that the speedometer is correct, which many people say it's not. Honestly, it doesn't feel like it's correct to me. It seems like it goes a little bit slower than what the speedometer says. But I mean, it could be anything. It definitely goes at least 30. I'll put it that way. It feels like it goes about 30 miles an hour, even though I've got it unlocked and it claims that it goes 36.5, which I'm regularly at. So the thing that I want to mention here is that I've ridden this bike for 311 miles, and I practically only ride it in pass 5, and I practically only use the full throttle. I hardly ever pedal. I would go ahead and say I've only pedaled 1% total of the time that I've used it. And so far the motor seems to be holding up pretty good. Today I took these caps off and did like a little just to see if they were tight in the back. I never checked it when I first installed it, because when it came in, the only tire I had to put on and mess with was the front one. So I left that alone, and I never really touched it until today. But I moved it about a quarter of a turn on both sides, and I was happy with how tight it was and how tight it is. So a couple things. I've installed these little lights on here on the front and the back. I'm pretty pleased with these. They were cheap at Walmart. Little Christmas lights. And they do a really good job of letting people on the road know where you're at. Because I only use it to commute back and forth to work. I plan on riding this thing 5 days a week back and forth to work. And those lights, another thing I did was the front headlight that comes with it isn't the best, in my opinion. It's bright, but it seems like it's just too coned out to really just light up where you want to see. So I added a supplemental light. It looks like it's being blocked by this wire right here, but it's really not. I have it to where it points out just right to where this light and that light both um, come to a point where it lights up really nice in front of the bike. And also, when I purchased the front light, it came with this light, which anytime I ride day or night, I'll have this on blinking. Anytime I use the front headlight, it's just solid on. I haven't had to replace the battery yet, but I have plenty of batteries. I've also installed this crate, this milk crate. I'm not very happy with the backpack that's in it. I plan on replacing that soon. Just because sometimes I need to haul things. And the backpack is smaller than the crate, even though it's taller than the crate. It doesn't seem like it holds as much as I need it to sometimes. So it's kind of inconvenient. But I've never shifted the gear out of the box. It came in fourth gear. I've never used this button or this trigger. Usually when I start, I'll pedal like 2 or 3 times, and then it's just full gas all the way. One thing I'll say, after 300 miles, the brakes are getting real spongy. I don't have to use them a lot, but I have to use them enough. I drive on actual roads. Bike trails aren't really safe enough because of how fast it goes, and the fact that all the bike trails around here cross paths with actual roads. So you don't really want to be going 30 plus and a car appears out of nowhere. I'd rather just be on the road and I know what's coming. So today I had my first real issue with power and performance. I really haven't had that issue until now. So today I rode about maybe 6 or 7 miles to a place I had to go to do some things. And then I went about another mile to Walmart to pick up a little small sack of groceries to put in here. And on my way home, probably 2 miles from the house, power really started to diminish. Almost kind of like old battery powered tools used to behave before everything went to lithium, and then you get full power up until it's dead. Well, this thing acts a little funky in that department. It doesn't act like a traditional lithium battery, in my opinion. You can definitely tell it's losing power slowly. But one thing I'll say, it's never fully died on me. I've never ridden it far enough, and I only, like I said, I'm only in pass 5. Every time I drive it, I'm only in pass 5. So, but so as far as these Christmas lights go, they make me highly visible. I really need to redo the front one. It probably looks better when it's rolling, but when it's stopped, you can obviously see it's not rim round. You got some problems with it. Not to mention, this one here is pretty decent, but some of the zip ties are kind of tight, and there's a flaw here. But these are really great lights, and they were kind of cheap. They make you real visible, and I don't see a potential of ever getting run into when you combine that with the front light and the tail light. This light automatically comes on. It's got some type of sensor that knows when it's dark enough. But if you want to turn it on, you just come over here and press this top button, and it'll come on. And when that comes on, obviously the stock backlight comes on, which is this one here. But for good measure, I always turn this on blinking, day or night. The front one I only use when it's nighttime. But, so the brakes are spongy after 300 miles. I've heard different things. Well, I should get hydraulic brakes and this and that. I don't think I'm going to go that route. The stock brakes are actually pretty decent. And even now, even though I have to squeeze them a little harder to get them to lock, like this is the play I have before it gets tight all the way down to here. But I mean, if I just go a little bit farther, that's more than enough brake to, then this is the rear brake. That's more than enough brake to really slow down quick. And then when you put them both together, this one has a little bit of life left compared to this one, because I use this one less. This is always my first brake, the back brake. But I'm pretty happy with it. Now, as far as I said, this is going to be my commuter bike. I'm going to be riding this pretty much year-round, as long as it lasts. If it can last me 365 days from the time it arrived, it will have more than paid itself off. Inside the bag, we have the lock that came with it. Very rarely do I need to use this. I had to use it today when I went to Walmart and when I went to do that other thing. Got my riding gloves. I don't really like these. They're thin. Air gets in them and it's cold at night, which I do ride at night. And if you have any suggestions for some thin gloves that also are very warm, please let me know. Also, I have this, I got this from Walmart.com. This is a Moto Boy raincoat. I wore it the other day for the first time because I just got it. And I wore it under my hoodie. And it kept the wind out. The wind is what I'm trying to block out the most. Now, if it's raining, I'm going to wear this on the outside. But it also came with these pants. I haven't worn the pants yet. And it came in this carrying bag. But the pants are cool too. It's the same material, just in black. And as you can see, you pull it over your clothes. And not only does it keep the wind off, but it's waterproof. And it's nice and tight down at the bottom. Same thing with the sleeves on the jacket. Very nice. Virtually all the wind was kept off of me. Because no matter what, so far when I ride at night, it doesn't matter how many layers of cloth I have. The wind gets through the cloth. And it's uncomfortable. So the raincoat really does, it keeps the wind off. Not only that, I have this helmet. It's a full helmet, full face shield. The glass is really nice. I got it on Walmart.com. And it was $60, which is kind of high. And it did have kind of a stink to it, which is pretty much gone now. But it keeps the wind off of me because I can close these vents and open them if I need air. I usually keep them open now, but pretty soon it's going to be getting colder. And this thing it's pretty good. I mean, it's full of protection. But as far as the raincoat goes, I know it's not going to be warm for much longer. So I'm open to suggestions in the comments. Leave a comment if you have a better pair of wintertime biking gear that you recommend. And I'll check it out. Because I'm not a fan of the cold at all. I don't like the wind. And I'm ready to to see what you have to show me. I'm not looking to spend a whole bunch of money. Obviously, that's why I have an Aipas M2 Pro. It's cheap. They accepted payments. And I'm really happy so far with it. This thing, obviously, you can force it to shut. But, it's not going to stay shut. Same thing with the little phone charger thing here. I mean, I don't even look at it. You know what I mean? I've never plugged a phone into it. I tried to put this thing on. This is the phone holder that came with the bike. I don't know if I lost a screw to it or something, but I couldn't figure it out. It's not that big of a deal. I keep my phone in this front pouch here on my way to work and my way home. I don't need to look at it while I'm on the bike. This is the charger. The charger charges very slow, in my opinion. That's about all I can say about it. The light is red when it's charging and green when it's full. And it's going to take you hours and hours and hours to charge it from not much to full. So get ready for that. I mean, but when it's full, it's going to give you reliable speed. Once you hit 1 bar, though, be prepared. You will notice a decrease of performance. It's unlike a lithium battery I've seen. And speaking of the battery, it's right in here. It's this thing right here. It goes from here to here. If I had to guess, it's probably 25, 30 pounds. Pretty heavy. And there's a lot of people right now saying, "Oh, it's not what they advertise," and stuff like that. But I mean, it does what I need it to do so far. Obviously, winter is going to be we're going to find out a lot more in the wintertime, which is very soon. I'll keep making these videos when I reach milestones. I figured I'd put a video out after 300 miles to show everybody, it's a value bike. It is a value bike. It's pretty cheap for what it does and for what I use it for. Speaking of value, these tires right here, I've heard a lot of talk about how bad they are. It's a Chinese tire, obviously, called a Chaoyang. Haven't had any flats. Haven't had any issues at all with these tires so far. Let's hope it stays that way. The only thing I can say is the tires are loud when you're going down the road. That's pretty much all you hear is a. It's the tires. The tires are very loud. But you get used to it. It's just a hum. But no flats. I mean, they look durable to me. I mean, there may be some defects going on with some people's bikes with their tires. I'm not sure what kind of issues they're having, but I've been seeing some negative things about mostly the brakes and the tires. I haven't had any issues with either. I use the brakes quite a bit because I do encounter red lights and stop signs. But I hope you enjoyed the video. This was my 300-mile review. I'll probably post another video around the 500 or 600-mile mark and let you know how it's doing. Like I said, today was my only disappointing ride because on the way back from Walmart to my house, which was probably 7 or 8 miles tops, it really started to slow down on me, even in past 5 full throttle. And I don't like to pedal much. I'm a skinny dude and I'm pretty in shape, but I'm not trying to do a whole bunch of work on my way to work. You know what I mean? But anyway, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. And give me recommendations on what kind of gear I should get. It's wintertime is coming soon. If you have any suggestions, let me know. I'll be happy to look at it. And thanks for watching.